right. So, and let's move into the special teams, man. We talk about Blake Gillikin Island. And he puts you on the island. Blake Gillikin puts you on the island and makes you need help. This dude was with Tommy Morstead for 1 year, and since then, Blake Gillikin, who he was found by the assistant special teams coach. What was the special team assistant? I forgot the special teams coach. Phil Galliano. Phil Galliano had come from Penn State. He used to be over there, and he still had ties. And they said, "Yo, we need a punter." They brought in this kid when Morstead was still here. And remember, they were going to cut Morstead last year. Well, not last year, the year before last. They were going to cut Morstead 2 years ago and put Blake Gillikin as the punter. But you remember, right before they did that, they must have got cold feet because they started the season with 2 punters, and people was asking me, hey Q, why the hell does the Saints have 2 goddamn punters on the team? Y'all remember that? Remember they started it off with the season off with 2 damn punters. 2 punters on the active roster. It was like, what was that all about? Well, that's because they were contemplating on cutting Tommy Morstead and starting Blake Gillikin. But then the decision was made very quickly to Blake Gillikin. All of a sudden came down with an injury, and they stashed him on the IR for the entire year. He didn't come off to the next year, and then that's when he started kicking and punting once Tommy Morstead was out of here. Y'all remember that? Because they were really contemplating. That's how good that's how good Blake Gillikin was. Punting the ball, his accuracy. He had the foot. He'll kick you into the next city, but his accuracy got a lot better if you notice for them, and they found a really solid punter in Blake Gillikin, which sets up Will Lutz, which is like we talked about with Will Lutz. Will Lutz is one of the best kickers in football, not named Justin Tucker. And this dude, all he does, and remember, the way we got Will Lutz is because of Harbaugh in Baltimore calling Sean Payton, say, hey, I got a kicker for you. So we always got to thank the Baltimore Ravens, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have got Will Lutz. Harbaugh called Payton and said, hey, I got a kicker for you, because he could not beat out Justin Evans. Not Evans. Is this the game time? Not Evans. What's the kicker from the Baltimore Ravens? I just forgot his name just that quick. But he couldn't beat him out. He's one of the better kickers in the NFL. He could not beat him out, and that's how we end up getting Will Lutz. The Saints brung him down here, they put him on a practice squad for a little bit, then they put him on the active roster, and Will Lutz been here ever since, kicking the Saints into wins. So he's an absolute, and what kind of hurt him last year was that he was dealing with the injury with his core that sidelined him for the half of the year, and then he had a setback at the same time as Michael Thomas did, and that just took him off the shelf. And if Will Lutz was playing, we would have won at least 2 games last year because of his kicking. We had to go through several kickers last year that really hurt us, and these guys were missing extra points, they was missing field goals, and behind that we were not able to capitalize in some of these in these situations. But having Will Lutz back, there you go, Justin Tucker, there you go, thank you, Eric. That's what he couldn't beat out Justin Tucker. So that goes to show you, but him and Tucker now is 2 of the best in the business, to be honest with you. So yeah, Will Lutz having him back is a phenomenal thing for the black and gold, because we don't have to worry about missing no field goals, or at least he ain't gonna be perfect, but at least we know with Will Lutz there that if we need him to count, that he'll give them to you. And of course, Zach Woods, the long snapper, he's been here with Blake Gillikin and Will Lutz for some time now. They got Deontay Harty as the kick returner and punt returner, with Eastside Winston as his backup. You see you got Daniel Whalen, who was actually punting pretty good, instead of Blake Gillikin as a backup punter. I don't know if the Saints will stash him on the practice squad, but he's a 6'6" punter who was kicking the hell out of the ball in minicamp for those folks. So, and then outside of that, if you look at the John Parker Romo, which is another undrafted guy the Saints brought in from Virginia Tech this year, let him kick there. And then, of course, they're not looking at John Parker Romo to kind of take Will Lutz's job, but it's also an opportunity for the Saints to see a kicker who they can stash on the practice squad. And if something happened with our kicker, instead of going to the street and find some old used up veteran, we got a guy that's we familiar with that can come and kick for us. So I think that'll be the wave of the future too. You got to be able to keep these punters, just like you have a quarterback on the practice squad or whatever, that you come wide receivers, whatever. But special teams guys are really important too. We used to stash wide receivers and tight ends and all these guys, but it's the trend now to start stashing punters and kickers too on the practice squad, because if injuries happen, you can have guys that can come in off the practice squad and fulfill the day. And of course, when you get down here to Deontay Hardy on the punt return, kick return, he now reprises his role. Remember, previously we were saying, okay, we might have to take him off that role because he's important to the offense. Now with so much depth, as the Saints added Chris Olave, they added Jarvis Landry, and Michael Thomas returns, it kind of pushes Deontay Hardy to that fourth position and makes him the kick return, punt return. He reprises his role. And then of course, Easop Winston and guys like Rashid Shaheed will compete with Deontay Hardy for those snaps at the kick return, punt return position. Now we still have to be able to, like I've said before, and I continue to say, is that the Saints will still have to be able to work on the kick return, punt return, blocking aspect of the game to kind of give them an opportunity to kind of give Deontay Hardy an opportunity to get touchdowns. What about Rashid Shaheed? He's another guy that can absolutely come in, and he had 11, count them, 11 special teams touchdowns. I watched all of them. I was like, this guy has a gift. If he can come to the Saints and bring that gift, watch the hell out, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Watch out for Rashid Shaheed. So that's them. So that's the entire team, family. That's the complete 90-man breakdown from every position group, from quarterback to punter to kicker to kick return and punt return. That's every damn person there. So like I said, man, what is this shaping up to be? Is this a Super Bowl roster that we're looking at? Is this absolutely? The defense is a top 5 unit. The offense, can it return to a top 10 unit staff with Thomas, Chris Olave, and Jarvis Landry? Absolutely. They have the skill position players there, and of course Alvin Kamara will miss some time, whether it's 3 to 6 games. Regardless, he's gonna miss some time at some point. And I do think the Saints add a running back in several veterans during training camp.
Perfect.